Okay, so we're going to be adding details to our artworks inspired by the character description we developed for this specific character. So as I'm drawing, I want to keep in mind what I wrote about, and I want to be able to visualize how can I translate what I wrote onto the paper. Now, to do that, you might have a clear picture in your head and you know how to draw it, and so you're going to start drawing right away. Or you might have a clear vision in your head, but you don't know how to draw it and you need to get some references. So go onto Google, go onto Pinterest, find a drawing of a pair of eyes that look like the eyes you wrote about. Find a drawing of a nose that closely resembles the nose you were thinking about. Find a coat, a drawing of a coat on Pinterest that reminds you of the coat you had hoped to draw. It doesn't hurt to have references. Once you know where you want to start drawing, you get your reference if you need it, and then you can start drawing. I'm going to start drawing with the face. Now, I should also point out you wrote this beautiful, descriptive, detailed character description, but you're not married to it. I'm going to start with the easiest part of my drawing because I know that getting a good start is better, easier when we start with something we're comfortable drawing with, and that'll set me up for success the whole time I'm drawing. So I'm going to start with this hat. Now, in my character description, I talked about the hat being replaced with some kind of bird-like hat, but I don't want to lose this shape, I've decided. So I'm going to really bring this hat around his head, see how it's curved so it looks like it's sitting on his head and not like on top of his head. Okay, so I'm refining my original drawing. Now I need to think about how I'm going to add bird into it. I had an idea of a feather in his hat because I didn't want to do like a whole bird on his head. So I'm going to put curving this ribbon around. So when things are round, remember lines curve. So I'm putting in what will become a ribbon. And then I need to think about like how big of a feather, how does it stick out? So I'm getting the line, the angle of the feather. And then I need to think about what will that feather look like. And so I'm lightly sketching out my ideas, thinking about what a feather looks like. I've drawn feathers before, so I'm not drawing with a reference right now, but I am referencing my knowledge from having drawn previous feathers. I'm thinking about the details that I'll want to go back in with marker. And you can see I'm struggling a little with this top point here, and I'll come back to that and kind of figure it out as I resolve the rest of this. So I'm putting in those shapes that make the feather. I'm revising and refining the look of it as I go. So even though this was the easiest part for me, well, maybe not the easiest, but this is the part I thought would be an easy start, you can see I still have to really erase, refine, figure out what's working, what isn't. Okay. Getting that looked out. Now for the hat itself, now I'm thinking, okay, this is still a furry hat, so I want to come in and give it a sense of that raccoon fur, that it was originally in the style of a raccoon hat. Because I don't think for my character anything is ever completely smooth. He is a tree man after all, so he's a little rugged. And then I'm putting back in this kind of tail thing that's part of that raccoon style hat that you see. I think do it like that. And I'm going in, I'm sketching in shapes, and then I'm refining the shapes. Widening up that feather. And I'm putting in these little marks that are going to show me where I'm going to put some marker detail. All right, so I'm starting to see the hat, and maybe it'll change, but I'm going to work now on the face. So as I was thinking, I think his face is too round for something so ancient, so I'm going to come in, I want to give it a jaw. Kind of like a witch's jaw, like a craggy old jaw. And bring its neck down. And its neck is tree bark, so I'm going to come in, start putting in what looks like wrinkles that will be the detail in the bark. And put that in there. And then I want to think about teeth. Keeping the teeth kind of simple right now. It's kind of in his mouth. This was supposed to be an ear. Now I'm wondering, I'm going to come back to the ear once I get the nose, the eyes in there. I feel like his eye is a little low now. And this is where, you know, eyes especially, I'm going to put together some references for you guys. So I'll share some Pinterest boards with different kinds of eyes. I want to make his eyes seem old. It's not seeming old yet. Maybe I'll work on the nose first so I can kind of get a sense. So I want to bring in the nostril here. And I described the nose as bulbous and twisted. So I want to see if I can kind of like twist it like it's a branch that twists around. Ooh, I'm kind of digging this. It's changed so much just from thinking about the details I wrote about. So again, you can see I'm making these little perfections and adjustments. I'll put a single leaf here for now. Okay, so the nostrils here, so the eye would be up here. So I'm adjusting the place of the eye. So again, you want to make sure you're in the right, and if you're doing an eye sideways, you got to think about what is the shape of the eyes in that sideways look. Okay. So again, getting that reference material, what shape is a sideways eye? Would it be really a hooded eye? Because he's older, ancient, your eyelids start to droop over your eye. So I'm thinking about like how does the eye fit into this space? There's the corner of the eye. Here's the eyeball. If you have a mechanical pencil, it's great to draw these with mechanical pencils because you get a sharper line. I don't have one right now, so I'm using a drawing pencil, which is also good, but or just a number 2 if that's all you have, that'll be fine too. Make sure you have sharpened it to a nice point, and don't draw super dark in case you need to erase. Now I'm thinking, does he need teeth down here? I don't know if I like the teeth down there. I think I want to just bring this out a little bit more. Wow, he is looking angry. So one of the things you want to think about too is you add in this information. Is it still the character you thought of? Is the emotion right? Right? So I'm giving in that eyebrow. Eyebrows give a lot of expression depending on their shape and their size. So I'm kind of liking the anger, but I'm not loving that it's super intense. Think about where he's looking to. Okay. So I'm just going to come in here, and I want to give it maybe a less intense eyebrow because it was just too like evil queen or something. Still not liking the eyebrow. This is going to be a problem area for me, something I'm going to try over and over and over again. So let me think, what can I do? Sometimes I need to come away from the piece to resolve it. So I'm not going to work on that area now. Maybe I'll just put in a temporary shape, and maybe that, oh, actually, that could work. Okay, so now I've gotten a pretty good start on a face, a good start on the clothing. I want to come in, I'm going to make the tail here a little more ragged. It feels too soft and like clean. This is an old hat. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a ragged edge because I'm thinking now about what he's wearing. I want him to be in some kind of jacket that's kind of torn up. So like it might have been nice at some point. So I'm thinking about like starting with the sleeves. Okay, I'm thinking about what he's wearing. Is it going to be open? I think it is because I want to show some of the body. So I want to think about the shape of this jacket. How is it going to hang on the body? Because I wanted to show the body a little bit in there. Now, I don't want it to look too Grim Reaper-y. I want it to look like rags, but I don't want it to be completely ragged up, but kind of falling off his body. I'm thinking about how do these lines curve, where's the backside. Thinking about like, okay, if the arm comes through it, where will we see the curves in the fabric? I'm putting in those curves. It's got skinny arms, so. It's getting it. I'm wondering if the sleeves were once really long and now they're short from where. And then what kind of collar will it have? So I'm thinking about the details on the jacket as well. Not quite there yet. And then I see there's, his arm is here. He's got this weird body. So maybe before I put in the details, I need to adjust and figure out how does this actually fit around this strange position of his body. So I'll bring this up for now. And then, because this will come like this. And I think this is gonna, because he's turning, it's gonna have this swing to it, like this movement. So you gotta think about how the clothes move with the position of the character's body. I'm afraid this at the bottom here. It's distressed. There we go. Starting to look okay. He's kind of like, looks like a Charles Dickens character a little bit. Not his face, just his clothes. And then it would curve this way. And this arm, I'm going to erase right there. And then I want to make sure I have the shoulder, there's a shoulder there. It's coming around. So I'm drawing the shape of the opening. It's starting to look like something. Again, making it feel distressed fabric that's falling apart a bit. Okay, so I've got some details in. I need to keep going with this jacket, so now I'm going to move down here, and again I'm thinking about like, how does this jacket move and bend with the character so that I can still see some of his body here. And I'm going to have to think about like, what is he wearing anything on his legs? Does he need a lot of clothing there? I am coming in and covering up part of that part of his leg. All right, so now he has this kind of distressed jacket, and I'm gonna put a hole in it here maybe. Yeah, that kind of adds something, and put a line there. I'm gonna save his body and kind of now work my way down his legs. So what I want to do, and I'm gonna just show you a little bit of what I'll do for the legs and body, and then I'm gonna stop because I don't want to make you watch this whole thing. That's a long video to watch. But again, I'm remembering that my legs are tree branches, so I'm coming around these original lines. I'm roughing it up. What is the knot in a tree branch? How does it grow out of the trunk of the tree? Okay. What is that texture going to be like? Okay. And again, I would find some reference if I needed it, and so forth. Now this one, I feel like the branch is coming out like that. So I'm thinking about how does it going to come out of his body. Again, I need to add the texture to his body. And thinking about those knots in the tree. He's old, withered, weathered tree. Exaggerating it, thinking about the texture inside, and coming down. I'm just widening that a little and erasing any guidelines that I don't need anymore. All right, I am going to stop there with my character because I don't want to make you watch me draw this whole thing, but I hope you get the idea of how we creatively combine details, shapes, lines to kind of present the character we imagined. Of course, the character might change over time as you're working. Right? Now I'm kind of just working back, maybe thinking about an ear, but I'm not really feeling the ear. So yeah, I think that's something I'm going to have to get a reference for. All right, I'm going to let you start drawing. Remember, your character is going to grow, change, and expand as you think about what details really work for you, what's going to bring it to life for you, so it pops off the page and we really get a sense of who this character is.